Hey everyone, today in this video, I'm going to be checking out the ECOVACS DEEBOT T30S AI Care. ECOVACS did send me the sample, but any opinion expressed in this video is strictly my own. That being said, if you're interested in this product or you want to find out more about it, the link to it will be in the video description. Here's a look at the retail box and packaging. We have our key features right here. AI instant re-mopping capabilities, TruEdge adaptive edge mopping, and ZeroTangle anti-tangle technology on the brush roller. They highlight some of those features on the side, as well as the back right here. Same thing on the other side. Then we're back to the front of the box. Now let's go ahead, let's open this up and see what's inside. Here are all the contents. First up, we have our product literature consisting of a full user guide and manual, 1-year warranty information, and we have our FCC compliance info. Next, you'll find 3 extra vacuum bags. There's already a 4th one installed. 2 extra mop pads right here. There's already 2 installed. Next, you'll see we have our power cord and cable. It's got a 90-degree connector on it. We have our side cleaning brush that we'll have to install on the RoboVac. Here's a look at the RoboVac and the Omni Station here. Let's go ahead, let's look at these in more detail. Starting with the vacuum, up at the top, we got 3 control buttons, the ECOVACS logo and branding on top of the LiDAR navigation module, and the DEEBOT logo and branding down towards the bottom. This top cover is removable, and that reveals our dustbin with care and cleaning instructions. Take a look at the filter. We can replace that as needed. See the dustbin from all sides and angles. Here's a look inside with the dustbin removed. We have our Wi-Fi indicator light and reset button, QR code for setup. Now we'll look at the very front of our navigational bumper with all of our vision right here for navigation and AI identification. We have some sensors on the side. Here's a look at the back, the dust outlet, charging contacts, water port. Here's a look at the other side, additional sensors there. And then back to the front with our main navigational hardware. Now we'll look at the very bottom, spring-loaded drive wheels, omnidirectional wheel. We have all of our cliff sensors. This is where we're going to install the side cleaning brush, red to red, and that just snaps right in place. Here's a look at our main cleaning brush with the detangling technology, those combs and teeth built right in there. Very easy to remove the brush, replace, and clean as needed. Down here at the bottom, we have our mop pads. They're microfiber, magnetic. They are removable, just like that. Let me pop this one out so you can see the hardware we have here, where this one can move in and out, and they just snap right back in place. So take a look at that. They're in. This can kick out to extend the reach pretty substantially, which is great. So beyond the unit itself right here, which is what you want. Now we're looking at the Omni Station. It comes to you in 2 pieces. We will have to attach them together. Here's a look at the bottom base piece here. This is a key feature on these stations, the removable tray, so you can easily clean them. That has not always been the case with ECOVACS vacuums that support mop, washing, drying, cleaning, and all that. Like the ECOVACS X1 Omni, that one doesn't have the removable tray and it gets very dirty. This is a fantastic feature that we're seeing more and more in the future. Let me show you that tray from all different sides and angles here. Get a feel for it. We even have instructions showing you how to install and remove right here with the clips on the side in blue. And here's a look at the Omni Station itself. We can peel that plastic off, revealing another piece of plastic right here, a sticker showing us the short and long press to start, pause, and initiate self-clean. We can open up that cover to reveal our dirty water tank and clean water tank. And they both come out just like that. Here's your full look at the dirty water tank. We can open that up to reveal the inside with our float right there. And here's your full look at the clean water tank. You might notice, maybe you can't see it, maybe you can. We got the max indicator right there. And there's a look at the inside of the clean water tank. Slightly different hardware. Here's your left side profile of the station. Got some plastic to remove. Here's your right side profile of the station with some more plastic to remove. That's so satisfying. Here's a look at the very bottom. This is the back side, and this is the front side where the vacuum will dock. And here's a look at the very back side. This is the top, this is the bottom. Power cord plugs in here, on and off switch, built-in cable management. Up at the top, we have a grip handle right here. And then we can open this up to reveal another port, I'm assuming for add-ons in the future. Depending on your market, you might be able to have a kit or something like that to actually attach and install for clean and dirty water removal. Not positive, but typically that's what you see with things like that, or that's something that's maybe coming in the future. And then here's a look at the front side. This is the top, this is the bottom. We have the ECOVACS logo and branding, some more plastic to remove, and then this cover just pops open, revealing our already installed vacuum bag right there. There's also a piece of plastic on the top right here, I should say on the side when you open it up, that I thought maybe would open up to reveal storage or something like that, but I don't think it's supposed to come off. And then down below, we have to attach the piece that clips right in, but you'll notice we have our charging contacts, self-empty, water jet, all of that right there in the bottom of the station to clean, wash, dry, and do all that. While we have the station like this, let me show you how this just simply clips right in place, just like that. That's it. Now we can tip it up if we want, and everything's all set and ready to go, so we can charge this up and try it out. All right, with our first clean out of the way, let's take a look at the results here. So starting with the top, everything looks great, what you would expect. Maybe a little bit of dirt, dust, and debris throughout the vacuum, so just wipe it down as needed. We'll remove that cover, revealing our dustbin. This is a self-empty vacuum, but I intercepted it before it could empty itself so we could see all the contents. Oh, look at that, sick! Everything that it was able to vacuum up. And we have a lot of crumbs spilling out in there. Let's explore these contents a little bit further. So we'll just pull that guy out there first. We'll come around to here, and then we'll open it up. Look at all of that hair, dirt, dust, crumbs, all of that good stuff in there. That filter's jam-packed already, but looks good on this side. A lot of really fine dirt and dust already settling into the dustbin. But take a look at the contents. We got a bead from my daughter's necklace, some cereal, Your typical household contents, crumbs, debris. I see some outdoor material like grass clippings, leaves, dirt, tons of pet hair and human hair in there. So that's realistically what you can expect this vacuum to vacuum up. Now we'll look at the front bumper and side as well, just to get a better feel. Again, some dirt and dust starting to collect, especially on the side right here. So just wipe it down as needed. Now we'll look underneath. We have some hairs starting to tangle on the side cleaning brush. That's fairly common though and easy to clean and maintain. Then looking at the main brush roller, we have a piece of shag rug thread right there and a couple of hairs starting to accumulate on here. I've seen this way worse though, so while it's not going to be 100% effective, having this detangling system will make a difference for you, which is great to see. And then looking at the mop pads, they look great. Not seeing much discoloration or dirt built up yet. Every once in a while, even though it can wash, clean, and dry itself, I still recommend taking these off and washing them in your washer just to get them really nice and clean. But so far, so good. Everything looks great as you would expect. That leads us to the base plate. This is removable, so it's easy to show you what you'd have to clean and maintain. Again, take a look here. We got crumbs and hair built up already. This tray, you can easily take off to rinse off. And then underneath, this is really easy. You can pop that right out and you can rinse that off as well too. We have some water that's settled down here. That will evaporate over time. We already had some evaporate here and you can see the little bit of residue left over, but not bad at all. This is so easy to clean and rinse off. I love this design. You don't want to get one without one. Let's preview the ECOVACS app. This will just be a brief overview showing you the mobile app with the vacuum setup and some of the key features and things that you can customize and control. So here's a look at the vacuum right here. We can select start cleaning. We can go recharge and send it home. We can enter robot controls or enter the video manager. So you can use this to drive it around your house, which is pretty cool. So we have those options there if you want to take advantage of the built-in camera, making it more of a security device. Here's a look at our map, all set up and ready to go. Previous clean there, location of the charging base. You get the idea. Down below, we have all of our cleaning options. So we have 4 different tabs that we can pick and choose from. Zone cleaning, room cleaning, scenarios, as well as auto. And then you can just start that. You can choose your cleaning mode. You have 4 different options. So vacuum, vacuum and mop. We also have mop only, and then mop after vacuuming. We have our water flow rate. So 3 different options, or we can drag this slider for a more custom setting. 1 or 2 cleaning passes, 4 suction settings, and 3 different cleaning options. Quick, we have deep or standard clean. And then up at the top, we have our map options. So we can view how our map is displayed, 2D or 3D, and we can check those on or off. We also have our map editing options here. We can save up to 3 maps at a time. You can easily map your home in the top right-hand corner. Just take it to a new floor, press that button, and you can walk through the prompts to get everything set up. And then from here, we can edit our maps. So we can add virtual walls and barriers here. So you can do the line, and you can set up no entry or no mopping. And same with the box. Drag and drop. No entry or no mopping. So very easy to customize and build out your map, adjust rooms, combine, merge, all of that right there. And then top right-hand corner, this is all of our device settings. There's our video manager options. Again, if you want to go into a live view, drive this around your house, you can. We can set up cleaning sequences. So how do you want it to clean each room in your house? You can do that there. Auto mop lifting options and carpet boost right here. So you can customize that. Spend a minute going over those features. Get it exactly how you want it. Intelligent settings here. This is basically our mop washing frequency and settings. 2, 3, 4 hours for dry time, 10, 15, 25 minutes for washing, or you can do it by room. Intelligent deep mopping, TruEdge adaptive edge mopping. So you can toggle that on or off and then choose if you want standard or extreme. Then further down, we have more settings here. This is things like do not disturb, child lock, auto resume. You can turn on the obstacle avoidance. And then foot touch control is a really cool feature if you want to take advantage of that. Just depends how you use this around your house, but you can take advantage of the bumper. Pretty sweet. And then we have our voice assistant settings and then more information about the vacuum and the station. We also have some lab features. You can choose to turn these on or off as well. So spend a minute there reading and choosing which ones, if any, are right for you. And then lastly, we can locate our vacuum if it's missing around the house. So a very detailed, simple app to navigate and highly customizable. Now we're gonna see how this stacks up against the competition. I've tested over 70 different robot vacuums and we continue to build out and refine our database of performance, features, and test results. So first up, we're gonna look at max suction power. This is measured in pascals, 11,000 pascals of suction power. That's some of the highest we've ever seen. Dreamy X40 Ultra comes in at 12,000 pascals and maybe one or two more right there at 11,000 or 12. I think the Narwhal Frio Z Ultra also is in that range. So some of the highest we've ever seen, but typically those models I just mentioned are top of the line flagship models. So tuck that away in the back of your mind and just remember that when we get to how much this vacuum costs. So 11,000 versus the average of 5,400. We're twice the suction power. And similar to suction power, we're looking at max CFM. We record this in-house. What we want to see is a higher result here, usually, but not always, the better performance you'll actually see in the real world, and a really solid score of 9.5 CFM compared to your average of 6.8. And then we're looking at our carpet deep cleaning test. Best score possible is 100. This helps us actually make sense of the data that we just looked at in the real world. We got a solid score of 90 out of 100. That's 3% above average. Now, I wanted to mention that the ECOVACS DEEBOT N30 got the exact same score, and the T30S non-AI actually got a score of 95 out of 100. Just some interesting observations. Next, we can talk about decibels. This is how loud the vacuum is. We always measure this vacuuming carpets on the strongest possible suction setting with all sort of carpet boost and everything else enabled. So we peaked at 74.9 decibels. The average comes in at 71. So we're about 4 decibels above average, but there's no noticeable difference if this is vacuuming in the room at 75 decibels versus another vacuum at 71. So it's well within the normal range. Moving right along to battery life, this is measured in minutes. ECOVACS claims 350 minutes of runtime. That's obviously going to be at the optimal settings, lowest suction power, all of that stuff really dialed in. Pretty fantastic that you can get 350 minutes. That's going to be twice the average, 160 versus 350. It's twice and then some. Anyways, I wanted to mention that this has a longer runtime than the regular T30S at 290, and it has a longer runtime versus the N30 at 320. So either half an hour or 60 minutes more than ECOVAC's other similar vacuums, and substantially more than your average robot vac. The reason this is all possible is due to the large battery capacity, 6,400 milliamp hour battery capacity. That's larger than what we see in the regular T30S at 5,200 milliamp hours. So with the AI version, we are getting an upgraded internal battery, which leads to longer runtime. And this is going to be 25 milliamp hours more than your average at 3,900. Next, we have our height. Very standard height for LiDAR equipped modules. Maybe, just maybe, ECOVACs run a smidge like 0.1 inches taller with just their thicker plastic cover up at the top, but very standard, around that 4-inch range is what you'd expect for a height with a LiDAR equipped vacuum. The average is 3.7 because that skews lower. We cover a lot of entry level and basic robot vacs that don't have LiDAR, therefore they don't have that sensor up at the top. Moving right along to dustbin capacity, 275 milliliter dustbin capacity on our T30S AI. That's below average, but before you get worried about that, this is a self-emptying vacuum, so very common to see that 200 to 300 milliliter range for a self-emptying vacuum. Our average skews higher because we cover a lot of vacuums that don't self-empty, so guess what? If they don't self-empty, they have an incentive to make a larger dustbin to prevent you, the end user, from having to manually empty the dustbin as often. In our case, since it can do it itself, it doesn't matter. And along similar lines, same thing can be said for the internal water tank capacity. This has a 55 milliliter internal water tank capacity. That's well below average, but Again, guess what? This vacuum can wash, clean, dry itself, refill itself as needed, so they don't need to be carrying around a ton of water on the vacuum because it can go back to the station when needed. So again, you see anywhere between that 50 and 100 milliliter range for models with similar features like this. They tend to be in that 200 plus range when they don't wash, clean, and dry themselves, and you have to manually refill the mop tank every time on the vacuum. Next, a fantastic feature that I'm so glad we see on this unit, it's the hot water mop washing, 158 degrees Fahrenheit. That's 5 degrees Fahrenheit above the typical average that you see. So you just need to know that we are getting hot water mop washing, and it's some of the hottest hot water out there compared to the competition. Moving right along, let's talk about mop lift height. This is measured in millimeters. We have a 9 millimeter mop lift height. That's 1 millimeter below the average. Usually we see within that 9 to like 12 or 15 millimeter range. There's really not much more you can do on vacuums due to their form factor unless you take the iRobot approach and it lifts the mop up and out of the way, or you take the Dreamy approach with some of their advanced models where it can actually leave the mop pads behind. A welcome feature in addition to this model that I'm happy with is the video monitoring. I know there's privacy concerns out there for some of you, so this isn't something you're excited for, but for me, I love having the camera access. That's a plus in my book, but this does have it. Typically we find for a lot of vacuums out there, we still don't have that feature, so it's great that we get it on this model. But on the other side of that is side brush reach. This vacuum does not have side brush reach. I really wish it had that feature. I know it's found more so on flagship vacuums, but we're starting to see a lot of other things like hot water mop washing, mop lifting, mop extension coming to models like this. So I'm looking forward to the day when it has the ability to kick out that side brush and reach into corners. And I just mentioned it, but this does have mop extend, so it's able to kick out the right side mop to cover more and actually outside of the vacuum area-wise, getting closer to your baseboards, and depending on your furniture or appliances, it can get a little bit underneath them and help to reach corners. It's not going to be perfect in the corners, but it definitely gets more than your typical vacuum without that reach would. Another feature I already mentioned earlier is mop pad removal. This is found on some of the competition out there, but not at this price point yet, so I'm looking forward to the day when this has the ability to leave the mops behind as opposed to just lifting them up and out of the way, because at 9 millimeters you'll still get a little bit of contact here or there depending on the thickness and size of your carpet or rugs. But when it's left behind at the station, you have no possible point of contamination or contact. Back to another feature that this unit does have, that's ECOVAC's very own AI instant Re-mop. It's great to have this technology where it can identify stains and dirty spots on your floor to give them proper cleaning. That's going to be key here with the AI version of this model versus the non-AI versions. Now let's try to make sense of everything that we just looked at, from the data as well as the feature set, to get a feel and look at it through the lens of what this vacuum costs compared to the competition. You will notice this vacuum costs a couple $100s more than your typical average robot vacuum cleaner, but from what we just presented to you, you'll notice performance-wise, it's going to be basically exceeding your average robot vacuum cleaner, checking off all those boxes, and you're picking up a ton of other features that you don't get with your typical average robot vac. So at the end of the day, you just have to weigh, the cash in your bank account and your wallet, right? Versus those extra features and performance, and what is that worth to you? In my opinion, you'll be hard pressed to find other vacuums that offer this at this price point. So they're getting close. Things are trickling down, they're becoming more affordable, but this is one of the more affordable options out there that checks the list of having video monitoring, having hot water mop washing, drying, cleaning, you name that, decent performance, strong suction power. That's really going to be the key with this vacuum versus the average. So now let me share with you my final thoughts after using the ECOVACS T30S AI Care. Here's really what you need to know. First, what does this vacuum excel at? It's going to be things like its larger battery life and extended runtime at 6,400 milliamp hours and up to 350 minutes per ECOVACS. Extra filters and mop pads for long-term maintenance and care. You'll appreciate having that bundled together with this unit. And that added camera for additional AI features, instant Re-mop, as well as video monitoring. That's going to be what this vacuum will excel at and what makes it stand out. Now, for things that would keep you away from it, it'd be things like subpar obstacle avoidance. I was really hoping for better obstacle avoidance. It really seems like it's going to excel with larger items, think pop can and larger, anything smaller, cords, pet waste, things like that, it tended to struggle from our observations. Not sure why that's the case. Again, I had really high expectations. It definitely underachieved in my opinion. So you will still have to plan to tidy up and clean up your house. Also, no side brush reach. It'd be nice to see that feature trickling down. I know it's coming, but it's just not here yet. I feel like that's a miss for this vacuum. Once you use vacuums with that, just like the hot water mop washing and drying and cleaning and refilling and all that, the self-emptying, it's hard to go back to a vacuum without it. That's the next great feature, again, that we'll start to see hopefully on these models. But it's checking off the list for a lot of key features to handle your mopping and vacuuming needs.